the Niners offense versus the Bears defense. The Niners offense is having a real good season. I don't think it's any coincidence. I think they're getting some real good tips. So what do they got to do this week? Dennis Allen, look, this Bears defense isn't great, but they do one thing great. They have 21 interceptions. And if Kyle Shanahan isn't careful, they will intercept Brock Purdy many, many times. So what is the assignment this week?
Well, the safety Bayard's got like 6 picks. The corner has got 5. Those are pretty good numbers. If you look at, through 15 games and you got 6 interceptions for a safety, that's pretty good. The one thing about which is, Dennis has been around a while. Allen is a decent defensive coordinator. I hate to say it. You go back and you look at that Indianapolis Colt defensive coordinator last week who had been in Cincinnati the year before when they led the league in allowing the most points. They terminate him and he goes over to Indianapolis. Well, he took the same defensive playbook and it's got holes in it like Swiss cheese. Well, this guy's going to play a little bit different. You're going to get pressure also from Dennis Allen. Mm-hmm. You're going to get blitzes. You're going to get disguised looks. He's sorting through all of the shifts and motions. And I think the key thing for, them coming into this ball game is that if he likes a defensive front and coverage scheme, despite all the shifts and motions, he's got to tell his players, hey, we're going to play it regardless of what they do. We're not going to load it and reload it and then check again and make another check. And so I think that's important for Kyle to figure out early how Allen is going to respond to all the shifts and motions and then figure out which ones work the best that give you the advantage. And the other thing about which I have a concern, Kittle is a phenomenal game last week, of course, but with his ankle being tender like that, they've got to come up with someone besides McCaffrey and Kittle to catch a few balls also, because I don't know if you can just lay the whole load on McCaffrey and back off from Kittle saying, well, I can't target him 10, 12 times. He's got a run block and all of that. And by the same token, his ankle's tender. And so I think it's important that we see some other tight ends in the game for the Niners to spell Kittle so that he doesn't get, worn down and that ankle ends up getting tweaked or whatever. Then he's out for the rest of the game. And then they really are in trouble.
Yeah, they need him for the playoffs, and they've clinched a playoff spot. So while they want to beat the Bears and they'd love to get the #1 seed, they have to be smart and not make this worse so they don't have George Kittle in a playoff game. It'll be interesting to see what they do without George Kittle in this game, if they don't have him or if he's not 100%. They have McCaffrey. They got to get someone else involved. Jake Tonjes has been a weapon. Ricky Pearsall was a limited participant in practice. It seems like they'd love him to come back if he can do it.
Ricky Pearsall, though, he goes out and he makes one play, then all of a sudden he's hobbling off to the sideline. And you've got to have dependability, reliability in your players. And how can you package a lot of things offensively around a Ricky Pearsall when the guy can't line up and play 4 snaps in a row or 3 snaps in a row, or he's after one series is over in the blue tent with the trainers, getting checked over. And, you've got to have some durability. And that's the one thing lacking from him. Huh?
Yeah. He seems like he needs to get a lot stronger and a lot more durable.
Yeah. Conversely, that's one reason why you like Juwan Jennings as much as he may not be able to run like you'd like him to run, but the guy is a physical player. He can get knocked around and he can knock you around and he still comes back in there and he's out there all the time. And so there is the durability factor that he does give you that. You have some limitations about what you can do with a passing game with him, about certain routes are featured better for him than other routes. You don't have a whole tree. There are only 2 players the Niners have on offense for which Kyle has an entire passing tree available for them. That's McCaffrey and Kittle. Everybody else has a mini version. They've got a menu that's been scaled down, predicated upon what they can run and what they can execute. And now your offense has to be structured around what those guys can run. So when I get those other receivers out there, I have limitations on what I can call with them as a primary receiver.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, both of us were saying, Kyle, we love you. You're doing a great job, but we don't understand why you're throwing so many passes, calling so many pass plays for McCaffrey and so few for Kittle when he's clearly Kittle, the best player on your team. He's watching the show, big fan, both of us. Took the advice, started feeding Kittle left and right. Now Kittle's got an ankle injury. I don't know if that's our fault. Maybe it is. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe he can't handle it, but he needs another suggestion. And this is the pass reps portion of the show. Usually we have the pass reps interface. Today we're going to go old school and just do pen and
Whiteboard.
paper,
Yeah, the
whiteboard,
whiteboard.
baby. Let's do it. Okay, what are we looking at?
Okay, now I love this play,
Okay,
and Kittle would be perfect at it. Tongas would be perfect at it. We used to run this with Todd Christensen, Ethan Horton. This is a red zone thing. You can see I put between the 25 and 15-yard line. The great thing about it, our buzzword for it was Y soup, which is
mm,
short out and up,
okay,
SOUP. And so on the front side, I'm going to tighten down the Z receiver a little bit because I'm going to run the tight end on the short out and up and wheel it up the sideline. And so I want to run that bang 8 route, 12 yards, and snap it off there to a skinny post with the flanker. That'll hold the free safety so he can't run across. If I run him on a hook, for example, he can go over the top and go help on the soup route, the short out and up.
mm.
But if I run that skinny post, and I'm going to hold him there, now I can take Tongas, I can take Kittle. And here's the great thing, Brent. If it's man to man, he's got to beat the safety. Okay. There's no question about that. However, the key thing when teams are playing zone is the flat defender now, by rule, has to carry the second receiver through the zone all the way to the end zone. So that means if I'm playing cover 3 sky with a strong safety invert, once Kittle or Tongas makes that short out and up and turns it up, that safety has to carry him all the way to the end zone. If it's 4 quarters, now the buzz backer, who's the flat defender, has to carry Kittle all the way through. If it's cover
I got a
2,
question.
the corner has to carry him all the way through.
I have a question. Remember in Cleveland and then the following game against Tennessee, there was the touchdown throw to Harold Fannin, and then against Tennessee, there was the touchdown throw to Gunnar Helm. Isn't that the same? Wasn't
Exactly.
that an out and up against zone?
Yes, that's the
Yes.
thing. Defensively, you have to carry the second man through the zone all the way to the end zone. And see, that's the one thing that has hurt the Niners a little bit with those linebackers now when they don't have Fred out there. They are not exactly, up to snuff on the rules of the responsibility. Of, you see a guy run a flat route and you start to level off. Well, he turns up the field. Wait a minute. If you're the flat defender and then number 2 comes through your zone, I got to carry him. So now you're taking inexperience at linebacker and it's costing you points.
Yeah,
That's
as
very
opposed to like
disappointing.
Diamondor Lenore passing off that post route to the free safety and then picking up the tight end as he wheels up. Feel like that's kind of impossible to do.
It is. And the thing about it is, uh, it requires discipline of the player who is the flat defender to be able to carry the offensive player all the way to the end zone, because that zone responsibility extends the length of the field if it's the second player through the zone. So this
That's
should be great. And I tell you, put him in 21 personnel. You're down in the red zone. You got McCaffrey in the game. You got your buddy Juszczyk playing fullback over there blocking.
good,
And
buddy.
then, yeah, and then you run the wide flare by uh, McCaffrey. And I have a nice little triangle read right over there on the right side of the formation. And unless they kick 3/2 over there, I'm not going to worry about the X running the hook at 12 yards on the backside unless the coverage is so heavy defensively where they're rotating and rolling the free safety, the strong safety, and a backer over there. Then I could pick it up and throw it man to man on the backside or single against the corner, throw the 12-yard hook route.
I love this. I mean, it seems like this is a touchdown. If you execute it correctly, you get the right look. If you're on the 35-yard line, just outside the red zone, I mean, it's been a touchdown against the Niners twice. If you run this with Jake Tonges, no one's going to be thinking about him. You could use Christian McCaffrey on that motion there as a decoy. This feels like Kyle. We're giving you 6 points. We're giving you 6 points. Just you're welcome. This you can take 100% of the credit for it. This is football, but I like that play, Tom. Thank you very much.
That was a lead pipe lock against the San Diego Chargers in the old days. I tell you.